Hi everyone, I'm Carrie. This is Student Loan Chit-Chat. Thank you so much for joining me. This video is going to be lengthy. All right, this is an interview that Caleb Hammer did just shy of 2 weeks ago about a young woman who wants to, I believe, go into law. Now, if you want to go into law, from what I understand, you need to not only get through law school, you clearly need to pass the bar exam, and you also need to pass a financial background check, basically proving that you are credit worthy, your debt to income ratio isn't out of control, and you basically understand money. And I'm assuming that they want those requirements due to the fact they don't want crooked lawyers. Yeah, I know what you're already thinking, okay? But the goal is that we're not supposed to have lawyers that can be, influenced with bribes and other illegal activity. So I want you to keep this in mind. And what Caleb Hammer does, and I strongly encourage you to subscribe to his channel. I'm not only a subscriber, I'm a member of his channel. I've been following him for a couple months, and I think what he does is just amazing. All right, and what he really does is he just interviews everyday street people. All right, everyday people. All right, and he interviews them. He goes over their budget. He looks at it. He looks at, basically, like it says, financial audit. He audits their spending, and then he finds ways that he can help them to improve their spending habits and behaviors. Now then, this interview is about an hour, and I've only lightly skimmed through it. And usually what I do with interviews, especially when they're long, is I'll, cherry pick the parts that I think would be most relevant for my audience. But in this case, I think Caleb did such an amazing job in finding out information about this woman that honestly, there is not one part of the interview I want to cut out. I played it on about 1.5 speed, but for my audience, I'm going to keep it to 1.25. But, and I listened to it kind of lightly. I didn't want to over critique it. But when I basically got done with, I'd say about the first 30 minutes or so, I was like, I want to keep it all. So this is going to be lengthy. I don't know how long it's going to be. It is what it is. Splice it up into a couple different nights if you need to. Do what you got to do. But truly, this young lady is an example of everything we don't want. And I'm talking from her attitudes, her behavior, to even what her parents tell her. It's fascinating. And it's so fascinating, I'm keeping the whole thing. So even though I've not watched the whole thing all in part, I have watched pieces of it at 1.5 speed, but we're going to slow it down to 1.25. So get comfortable, all right? This is going to be a tough one, all right? People need to learn from it. We are not here to make fun of or criticize or, attack this young lady in any way. But what we are here to do is we are here to learn from it, okay? And I will give you my two cents on the thoughts that are going on in my head and where I believe she is going wrong. So please remember to keep your comments respectful. We are not attacking her. We are looking at the decision she's making, however, and we're going to attack those. It is what it is. Let's get ready and get going here, okay? I'm Carrie. This is Student Loan Chit-Chat. Thank you so much for joining me. Let's go ahead and let's do it. We are playing this from the beginning. This is by the Caleb Hammer Financial Audit channel. Here we go.
I'm Elise. I'm based out of Houston, Texas. I'm 24, and this is Financial Audit.
What do you do in Houston for a living?
I'm a cashier at HEB.
Oh, this explains. Okay, so I was really
all those HEB purchases, those are my taquitos.
Like, yeah, your taquitos, dude. You're going crazy. And I wouldn't.
You got me.
So if we're cashiering at HEB, what are we making an hour?
$17.40.
If we're making $17.40, how many hours a week?
About 25 to 30.
Okay, so 25 and 30.
But here's the thing. I'm studying for the LSAT to go to law school, so that takes up a lot of time as well.
Okay, so if I recall correctly, like I said, I've watched portions of the video on really fast speed. I think she's done with the with I think the first 4 years, and now she's getting ready to go to law school.
Okay, so that takes up time. I'm okay with you working a little less hours if we're studying for that to get into a law school to do the career we want to do. But if we're doing that, why are you going crazy with your spending?
And you're going to see that her spending is out of control.
That's a question I don't really have an answer to.
Oh, you gotta have an answer to that. If HEB pays you, why are you giving them money when you can't afford to simply live?
I guess it's convenient. since I'm already there. And I'm like, well, I'm going to be here anyway, so it doesn't kill to buy a bottle of water or whatever.
Remember, especially young people, convenience is very expensive. Packaged convenience food can be very expensive. Packaged bottled water can be very expensive. Okay, anything that you buy in convenience format is always more expensive. It's extra packaging, extra time.
Water?
Well, no.
Are you not allowed to have like an actual water bottle?
Yeah, we are.
So yes, she can bring a water bottle, she can fill her water, but why does she not want to? She says it's convenient to buy it. That convenience is costing dearly.
I have one, but I go through it quickly.
So you refill it? I've been to many H-E-Bs. I know there's an employee section. I've walked by water fountains, personally on the way to the bathroom. Is that less convenient than going, grabbing a water bottle, checking it out, bringing out the card, swiping?
Not really. It's not.
You guys notice the attitude? This is a case, and I don't want to get too far ahead because I want her to tell the story as Caleb does the interview, but this type of attitude, it's laissez-faire, nonchalant. You know, it's like, yeah, okay, whatever. We've seen this attitude before in other reaction videos I've done. This type of attitude from a woman who wants to be a lawyer, and don't forget, her credit is going to matter. Okay, this is, and I don't know this, it's just what I've read about. Okay, her credit is going to matter as part of her application to be able to practice law. So she can go to law school, she can even pass the bar, but without a background check, from what I'm understanding, okay, without a background check that passes, all of this is for nothing. So keep that in mind as you hear this interview.
How do I say it? It's not less convenient. No, I understand your point.
Then why are we not doing it?
She knows she's not supposed to do it. She has the right answers, but she doesn't have the mindset that will allow her to make those changes. Or she chooses not to have the mindset.
Don't really.
Oh, come on. Why are you making the active choice to do it? I know I'm digging into you right off the bat, but that's only because you just said you work there. I was going to ask about all those purchases, but the moment I heard you work at H-E-B, and we're going and spending multiple, endless, just swipe every second of our life, it's like, what the are we doing? They're supposed to be giving you money so you can save up, so you can survive. Yes, but then you give them money right back.
This is the, like, I don't know what HGB is. I think it sounds like, I guess it's some restaurant or something. I think he's saying HGB. This is like someone who takes a job, you know, during the holidays. They say, I'm going to go make extra money and I'm going to go work at my favorite store. So they go take the job at their favorite store. And what happens to all the money? It goes right back to the store. This is why if you take a job, truly, a part-time job, especially a part-time job, you know, a little side gig, do it at a place you don't want to buy anything from. Do it at a place you don't want to buy anything from. You know, people say, oh, I'm going to go work at my favorite store. Well, two things happen when you go take that part-time job or side gig at your favorite store. The first thing that happens is you spend all your money there because you really, really like it, okay? And then the second thing that also can happen is the place that you actually liked going to and found relaxing, that just becomes a place of stress. You know, I don't ever want to work at the stores that I absolutely love, because then I wouldn't enjoy it anymore. That illusion of, you know, relaxation and no stress would be quickly disappearing.
Yeah, you're right. I understand what you're saying.
And she wants to be a lawyer. And ask yourself, do you want her as a lawyer? And if you were a law firm, would you hire her?
Won't tell me why, though.
I mean,
I need your why.
I mean, I can't really come up with a why other than I'm just planned poorly.
Yeah.
Yes. And she wants to be a what? Say it with me. Lawyer. The actions that you take really says something about the way you're going to be in a job. Okay? You're too lazy to open up a bottle of water, not to open it up. You're too lazy to refill a bottle of water. Do I want you as my attorney? Oh, hell no.
Yeah. Okay. Is it laziness?
Yeah.
Okay. So laziness would be the why.
Yeah.
Have we never said
lazy lawyer for hire anyone? I'm being as tough as Caleb Hammer is. You know, you say, hey, you know what? You say you want to go into law. You want to do what's right legally, but you won't even do what's right for yourself. right? So we have to be careful of that. You know, you want to be put in charge of other people's lives, litigations where deadlines can make or break the technicality of a case. And I'm not even a lawyer, and I know that. A deadline can make or break a case. Her actions, okay, are showing that she lacks an interest or a motivation to be able to work with deadlines. This I don't see early on as being a career match.
You're going, so every month, we're going through, we're missing payments on debts. We're not having enough money in our checking account to survive. How is laziness an option in that situation?
If I'm being honest, I still live with my dad. I graduated college in May and I moved in back home, but I live with my dad, so I haven't really, how do I say it? Had to be responsible, if that makes sense.
And again, she wants to be a lawyer. Living with her dad isn't a problem. You know, people graduate from school, they do the first part of maybe law school, or they do the first part of med school, or even they do the first part of the bachelor's as they get ready to go back to their master's and moving back home. No one's going to judge that, okay? But you would think that that move back home would be a chance to really hone more skills to grow as a person. I'm going to be really honest. She, as far as I can tell, she's too lazy to be a lawyer. This is not the field for her. And I'm not knocking people in, you know, let's just say the service industry, but she's much more service industry. In fact, she's kind of an insult to the service industry, to be honest, because service industry people, they got to show up for work on time. You know, they have tables that need to be served. They have, you know, just people that have to be greeted, whatever the business is, okay? This is not lawyer material. This is not someone who is in the mindset of, I want to help improve the lives of other people in a legal sense.
Don't you have to be, though? You're missing payments on your credit cards.
I do. I do have to be responsible.
I was going to say,
yeah, so she moves back home. She's like, hey, I don't have to do anything.
Where's the you don't have to be responsible? So, sure, okay, if we're not being responsible and we're just like, okay, we're just spending money because we don't have to pay rent, like that's a thing. But right now you're missing payments on a contract that you signed for multiple cards, and you're not having enough in checking account.
Correct.
So since May, right? Is that what you said?
I graduated in May, yes.
Okay, so since May, why have we not sat down once and been like, okay, here's what's going out on a monthly basis?
I've recently done that, like I said, over the last month when I found your channel, and I'm like, oh my God, like I'm spending money poorly.
And since then?
I sat down and like I budgeted, and like I have my iPad, so I went through and seen everything that I have, all the debt I have, what I'm spending, stuff like that.
And she only recently did this, but yet she's been a student in college for at least 4 years because her bachelor's done as she gears up to go to law school. I don't have to be a fortune teller. This is going to be a woman who is going to grow old with her student loans. And this is the type of woman that may never pay them off. But I can pretty much assure you she's going to wind up getting herself into some six-figure debt. And when I say six-figure, I'm not talking 100,000. Depending upon how much of this schooling she's having to afford, I'm assuming she's having to afford most of it. Remember that video I did the other day on the young gal with $250,000 in student loans? She wants to be a model. These are two financially disastrous cases in the making.
So we had $1,348 come in.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
If you weren't living with your dad, that's not livable.
At all, no.
Now you're trying to go to law school. Any specific, or does it matter?
Yes. Is it specific? I want to go to a good law school.
I'm sorry, sweetheart. And I'm not going to attack you personally, should you see this. But your actions don't match the thought and the behavior of somebody who wants to go to a top-notch law school. And while your credit score or your financial background check may not be relevant while you're a student, when you graduate, from what I can tell, it's going to matter a lot. You want to go to a top school, but by your own admission, you want to do minimal work. You don't want to refill water bottles. You don't want to check your credit history. So if you don't want to do that for yourself, I guess my question is, why should clients hire you to do it for them? I'm not attacking the person, but I am looking seriously at the behavior and the logic or the illogic behind it. Top-notch quality law school? No, honey. That's not you. Not today.
But yeah, that's debatable on what's good. So.
And also, how much does that matter in the world of law?
It matters a lot. It's not like going to undergrad and, you know, getting a degree from anywhere. It doesn't matter. Getting a degree from any.
Do you guys see the disconnect? On one hand, the top law school, and it makes sense, matters a lot. But on the other hand, her behavior shows she doesn't care. Somewhere or another, we have a huge bridge, and this bridge is not, actually, no, not a bridge. We have a huge ocean in between these two thought processes with no bridge to connect them. Okay? You can't have it both ways. You can't have the top law school, but then claim that you're going to do absolute minimal. There are people in law school who will not only refill their bottles of water, they will go out and get the water and bring it to the people. Those are the type of lawyers we need.
Anywhere in undergrad is fine for the admissions process, but where you go to law school gives you access, opportunity, prestige, stuff like that.
Okay, so she wants opportunity, access. I assume access meaning to top-notch people and maybe programs and whatnot, okay? And prestige. She wants all of that on a beer effort budget.
Okay, so if we go to a good law school, probably going to like a private law school, I'm assuming.
Not necessarily.
Okay,
like,
so a good public one.
Like UT is one. UT
UT
is one
okay.
here in Austin. That's one. Another one is the University of Michigan. That's a public one.
And that's out of state.
Very far, yes.
And something she needs to remember this. Any law school, okay, they want her money. You know, there was the story I did when I first started becoming a reaction channel on a doctor on the Dave Ramsey show. I think he owes around $400,000, could not get through the tests of medical school. And no one told him, time out, stop. Why? Because no one had a vested interest in telling him. Taking his money and letting him figure it out on his own. This is an exact same case. No one's telling her, whoa, stop. You are not ready at this time. I will never say she'll never be ready. Okay? But right now, at this time, with her attitude, her lackluster, well, you know, I want the top law school, but don't ask me to get a bottle of water refilled. Okay? This is not law school material. And what she is unaware of is the tsunami of train wreck. I don't know, what is a tsunami? So I guess tsunamis win. What she's unaware of is the train wreck that's coming towards her. And that is, no one's going to tell her that she's not hireable. Nobody's going to tell her your credit score is so low that even if you pass the bar, they're not going to sign off on it. At least from what I understand. Okay, so it's not just enough to pass the bar. All right. No one's going to tell her, hey, you know what, honey, you go through 8 years of law school and be totally unhireable. And again, you know, we want to look at presentation. We want to look at presence. Do you exude? Do you display the things that people who are in law would accept of you? Okay. Do you emulate what it is that they're looking for? Do you walk it, talk it? You know, do you play the role? Or are you playing a different role? Because you have to be careful about that.
Yes.
Virginia, that's another one.
Out of state. So this all of a sudden becomes very expensive.
Yes.
If we're getting overdrafted multiple checking accounts and we're not even able to pay our credit cards, how in the possible are we paying for law school?
Basically, loans. That's what my parents want me to do. And if I do it well enough on the LSAT, I'll get scholarship.
Yeah,
okay, so they want her to take out loans. Young people, when I tell you that a school will take all your money, they will bleed you dry of student loans and then leave you out to drip dry and figure it out on your own for the next 40 years. I'm not kidding. This girl, mark my words, this girl is going to die impoverished over student loans. Mark my words. I see it as clear as day. I don't even have to try to pretend. I see it. She's going to run up a student loan debt. What's law school post? 200, 300,000. She's, by her own admission, using her own words, she's lazy. A lazy person isn't going to work any harder than they have to. By her own admission, I'm using her words. I do believe. You know, I'm not putting words in her mouth or anything. Okay. she's going to die impoverished. And I'm not kidding. And I'm not saying it flippantly. I'm not saying like, oh, it's hypothetical. No. She's going to be so high in student loan debt, she'll never be able to get out of it.
Your parents, why do we care what they want you to do? I mean, your life is your life.
That's true. But living with my dad, like a part of his agreement is I have to go to law school or basically I have to move out. And
okay, I can agree with that, honey. You can't just sit around here, daughter, you need to go do something. All right, I can agree with that.
And he wants me to stay in Houston, but I don't really want to stay in Houston unless I have to. But that's his big thing. He went to college and he got several degrees and he's like, your future is much brighter than mine. That's what I told him.
Hopefully those degrees are paid off.
Like recently,
I don't give a shit about him. This is your life.
I told my mom I want to work for a couple of years so I can pay off all these debts and then go to law school when I'm ready.
Whoa, yeah, because she's got all the debts from like the credit cards and stuff. Yeah, so she's already in debt. Oh, Lord.
And she was like, that's not smart. You need to go as soon as you can. I'm like, Mom.
Are they wealthy?
No, we're very much suburban and middle class.
Oh.
I think there's one area where students should not listen to their parents, and that is when it comes to school, if the parents are not paying for it. If the parents are not, and when I say don't listen to your parents, let me backtrack on that. Don't listen to parents who tell you to run up a student loan debt uncontrollably, okay? If they're not the ones paying for it. When I say paying for it, they're handing you the check at the beginning of the quarter or the semester. Okay? If you have parents saying to you, hey, you know what, just go ahead and go to school, run up whatever it is that's necessary. Excuse me. If they're not the ones paying for it, that's an area that you do not need to listen to them. After all, you're an adult at that point. Now then, excuse me. Now then, if on the other hand, your parents are paying for it, okay, like my mom helped me pay for my bachelor's, then certain rules and stipulations can be taken, like you will go now, you will finish by a certain time, you will take so many credits. That's what my mom had me do, but she was paying for most of it. That's the difference.
Okay, so they sound like, the people we should be listening to?
No, they're not. And
exactly, so why do you care? I mean, I get why you care, but why are you listening?
Because I don't want to live on my own, because I can't afford it.
Well,
you know another reason she doesn't want to live on her own? Starts with that L word. She's too lazy. Living on your own requires responsibility. How this girl wants to be a lawyer, attorney, I don't know the difference between a lawyer and an attorney. Hey, I don't claim to know everything, okay? There's one thing I will tell you. If I don't know something, I will just flat tell you I don't know something. So I probably use the words interchangeably. I don't know the difference, okay? I do not know the difference. But this is a girl who wants to run she wants to set your legal path, okay? She really wants to live at home, not just because of the money. All right. She just doesn't have to do anything. She's probably got someone cooking and vacuuming and all that. She doesn't want to do it.
Well, you said if you worked for a couple years to pay off the debt, I could get you to the point where what'd you graduate with in undergrad?
Political science.
I mean, we could get you a job in a sector that has high demand still. Is it the dream job? Probably not, but only for a couple of years. You can have an apartment on your own in the Houston area or wherever. And we could start paying off these debts and we could have enough money in our checking account.
She is so casual for someone who's really, whose life is going to SHI. You know what? She really is. It's like, yeah, okay, yeah, I'll take that. Yeah, I guess I can have that for dinner tonight. Okay, no problem. Her life is going to hell in a handbasket and she doesn't see the train wreck coming.
I'm sorry, but I want you to go to law school. That's fantastic. And even if you borrow a little, I mean, depending on how we're doing some things, there can be good return on investments. That's a nuanced conversation. But with the money habits that we are about to go into, with where you're at right now, and how you're operating,
I got to give her snaps on that one. Did you hear her say it? I'm going to be in debt forever. Oh, she has no idea how much debt she's going to be in forever. And we're talking the type of debt that could keep you from getting married. Unless, of course, you can get on a Dave Ramsey show and find some guy who'll pick up your $500,000 student loan. Yeah. See, a part of her already knows. See, a part of us already knows we're screwing ourselves over with our decisions. But for whatever reason, we won't change course. But we already know we're doing it. She is already aware that, you know what, she may not be making the best decision. But also to change decisions, to change course would require what? Requires work. And she's lazy.
You just taking on an endless stream of student loans to go to law school means you are just dying in debt.
And that's something else. My dad, like I said, went to school, got all 3 of these degrees. He's still $100,000 in student loan debt 20 years later.
Again, him, he's...
Oh, my Lord. Oh, my Lord. Oh, my Lord. Okay. Intergenerational debt and poverty, anybody? Intergenerational debt and poverty. And let's just say it. She doesn't present herself like a lawyer. Sorry, she doesn't. Let's just say it. I'm being honest, okay? She needs some practice with her grooming skills. You got to look like the job to some extent, okay? Now, I admit I probably have some real casual teacher days that it's like, you know. But, I mean, you want to play the law game. You want to go schmoozing with all those people. You know, you got to dress up a little. You got to look the part, okay? You got to look the part.
Clearly, he doesn't
But
know.
he's saying that's okay for me to do. And I'm like, it's not, though.
He's an addict to school.
Right. So he's got 6-figure student loans, $100,000. He sure as heck isn't getting rid of them. And now he wants his daughter to do the same thing. Intergenerational poverty. This family, but I'm telling you, by the time she's done with law school, it's going to be $400,000 if it's a dime. And don't forget, for about every $100,000 you take out, payment is about $1,000 a month, approximately. I'm just giving a ballpark based on what mine was, okay? That's without income based. So this woman could be looking at a $400,000 loan. I'm willing to bet, if not higher, not counting her credit card bills. Not counting all that either.
School. He's just one of the classic. I love college. College is a great path, and there's smart ways to go about it. There's stupid ways to go about it, but there's some people that only assume that going to college, getting the degree is what equals success, and having that degree, having that piece of paper is what they clamor to for the rest of their life.
And they pay it off dearly. They pay with their life, literally. Debt will have you pay with your life. In one way or another, you will pay with your life dearly. For some people, debt will stress them out so much it will put them into an early grave. Other people, debt will create so much grief for them that they can't find a partner to take them on and their debt. They can find a partner to take them on, but they don't want their debt, and they run in the other direction.
I don't give a shit. The fucking success you make on your own, showing what you build in your life, not just a piece of paper that comes from your past, is actually what determines your success. So I don't give a shit about his opinion. I don't give a shit about what he says. This is your life. Your life. Not his life.
Caleb.
We're not doing something to make someone else proud. We're doing something for you. And again, if you want to go to law.
And the sad part is her actions aren't even doing anything for her. Her actions are not serving her. She's not serving herself in any way. No way at all.
School, that's awesome. Let's absolutely do it. But with what we're about to go through here now, you just continuing down the path of just taking out any debt possible is going to lead to a situation where I'm a little nervous.
Yeah, I agree.
I think we all are.
What's your score? 0 out of 10.
Oh,
And the financial score.
It's a straight up 0. The only caveat is I have a small contribution to a 401k.
How much?
Literally like $300. I just started this year.
Small indeed. Okay. Well, why are we even contributing? It doesn't make sense.
There's a match.
Okay. So we owe on a Capital One card. Let's get into this, Cass. This is about to just be crazy. Okay, so we owe $540.51.
Let's take a look here. All right. I should have brought my reading glasses. Okay, so she has $540.51 on a Capital One card. Now, whenever I pause these things, one of the things that I'm looking for is if there are late fees. That's usually what I'm looking for. Over limit, late fees, and I'm looking for how much interest. So if I look over here, it doesn't appear that on this card there are late fees. She's being charged $13 in interest right in this area here where the mouse is. This is October 4th, 2023. Wow, this is really current. Yeah, like I said, this came out 9 days ago. And if you notice the title of this, Caleb writes, worst I've ever seen. So far, I would say this is pretty bad. And Caleb sees a lot. So if he's saying this is one of the worst he's ever seen, we're just, we know he's being absolutely accurate on it.
With a minimum monthly payment of $25 and interest accrued of $13.04. Off the bat, I do have to ask, out of curiosity, just a little curiosity, are that possible are we spending money on a card that we're not able to pay off that is accruing interest? It's a question that I've asked 1,000 people, and yet somehow it still comes here and ends up on this desk.
I love this channel of his.
Well, when I was in college, I took that card out, and my logic was, well, I'm getting my student loan refunds, and I'm getting all my scholarship and grant money. I can just pay it off. But no, that did not happen, and here it is.
It never happens. You know, that's how we got into my first big credit card debt. Okay. Oh yeah. You know, I was given a $5,000 gold card. I'm just going to buy some sheets. I'll have this paid off in no time. I get the bill. I'm a stupid 20-year-old. Don't know any better. Okay. We've not been taught how to emotionally control ourselves. It's you know, people say, well, just don't charge it. It's so easy. But part of being a responsible spender, buyer, borrower, credit card user, whatever you want to say, okay? Part of it is also understanding the emotional temptation and the emotional control of debt. And that is something that I believe young people are not taught. You can teach someone the mathematics of debt, 500 minus 50 minus 100, add on interest, blah, blah. We can teach the mathematics. But really, how much education had you ever had on the emotional controlling of debt? It's like we have to learn emotional control on our own, if you really think about it. But that's a lot of it is, okay, I understand what a $5,000 credit card balance is, but I did not understand interest on the interest. I didn't even know how interest worked. I don't even know if I knew my card had interest, to be really honest. I mean, it did, obviously, but I didn't understand how to read it. All I knew was, okay, $5,000 credit card. I think I put around 700, not more than 1,000 on the very first purchase. And I was like, oh man, they only want $15 from me. Well, I can do that. I can afford $15, then you go run up some more. And then what you say you're going to, you say you're going to pay it off on a certain date, but you don't, right? Because something else comes through. She lacks emotional control with money, but lots of us do, not just her.
Is 6 months later.
That did not answer the question. This is something you just did. Why are you spending $227.97 on a card that you cannot pay off that is accruing interest?
Oh, wow. I didn't even know it was that much.
Well, of course she doesn't know, because she doesn't look at her money. Remember, she said she hasn't looked at this, for possibly years.
So, okay, you have not sat down once and looked at your money in any way whatsoever, have you? You don't know what you're spending?
Not really, no. I kind of avoid.
No, there's no such thing as not really. One of the things about having me become debt free is I had to learn. No, it's either yes or a no. You did or you did not. It's not. It's not. Well, not really. Okay, I'm a weightlifter, and I either picked up the weight or I dropped the weight. There's no. Well, I kind of got it halfway. No. If it's either picked up or it's dropped. Ask any weightlifter. Okay, they either made the lift or they did. You either looked at it and you're controlling your budget, or you're not. When we say things like, well, not really, what we're trying to do is we're trying to find ourselves some modicum of excuse. We're trying to find a little wiggle room to say, see, well, we tried. We're not that bad. We're just really fooling ourselves is all we're doing. When we give ourselves grace room to say, well, I kind of looked at it. No, but we need to just own it and say, no, I have not looked at it. I have not sought to look at it. That's what we need to do, not try to give ourselves grace room. You want to get out of debt, just own it. Embrace it and own it. You want to become a heavier weightlifter? Lift it.
Avoid the statements.
I get that. I mean, when we know we're in a bad place, it can be anxiety-inducing to get over that hump to actually take the look. So let me take that look for you.
Okay.
Taquitos, Wingstop, Starbucks, Taquitos, Chipotle, Taco Bell, Taquitos, Chick-fil-A, Taquitos, 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 Chick-fil-A, Starbucks, Taquitos, Chick-fil-A, potential taquitos at Buc-ee's, because you never know. Buc-ee's can be expensive taquitos, or it could just be we're getting gas. I'm not 100% sure. And taquitos and some taquitos. I'm sorry.
Does she have stock? No, she can't have stock in taquitos. She's buying the taquitos. She's not selling the taquitos. What are taquitos? I don't even know what taquitos are. Well, whatever taquitos are, I have no idea what taquitos are. I'm not even... Dang, I don't even know if I know how to spell what a taquito is. Well, whatever taquitos are, okay, somebody maybe throw it in the comments for me. I don't like to look up things when I'm streaming like this, because I'm always afraid it's going to mess up my screen. But I have no idea what taquitos are. So apparently she really likes taquitos. I don't even know how to spell taquitos. All right. Like I said, I don't claim to know everything. I'd be lying if I said, oh yeah, I know everything. I don't know everything.
But also not, because this was you doing it.
Right.
But this That's right there, guys. That right there. That right there.
Mm-hmm.
You already have a car.
Oh, that's gas. Oh, the Buc-ee's one. I see.
The Buc-ee's one. Okay,
yeah,
I didn't highlight it though. But the highlighted stuff right here is bull. It's fucking around. It's things we don't need to be spending on. There's 1, 2, 3.
Let me guess. There are probably more taquitos on there.
4 out of the 20, 25. People always ask me, what high yield savings account do I use for my own money?
Oh,
Some of you know by now it's SoFi. I love them. It's great for my checking account needs. It's great for my...
Right. I'm spending money that I don't have.
Why is it all going to, like, you spending, though? Like, stupid eating out and stuff like that. Why is that where your money's going right now?
Because eating out and buying stuff like that is more pleasurable than paying bills. It's more pleasurable than having to study. And sure as heck, it falls in line with the lazy path. Now remember, lazy is not the word that I came up with. That's the word that she was using. Okay, that's more enjoyable. All right, it's much more enjoyable than actually putting in the hard work. Like I said, I see a school taking her, sucking up all the money, and then her not being able to get a law degree. Or even if she gets the degree, it will be paid with a huge price, and she won't be able to pass the financial background check. Because how are you going to clear up a financial background if you say you have $300,000, $400,000 in student loans, and you have a credit score of, I don't know, 200? I don't think the credit scores go down that low. I think they're like in the 500 range.
Every day of your life.
I don't really have an answer.
She says that a lot. She says that a lot. I tell you, when I was growing up, you better not tell my mother you didn't have an answer. You better come up with an answer, young lady. I was like, okay, I'm trying real hard. You learn real fast. You did not tell my mother, I don't know. You best know. I love her.
It's easy just to swipe or tap my card and keep it moving.
And she wants to be an attorney, and she's going to have to go through a background check. A financial background check, for that matter. A financial background check. She's going to have to go through it. This gal needs to pull out of school. She needs to literally drop out of school. Take a job, I don't know, retail, someplace where they sell taquitos. I don't even know how to spell taquitos. Someplace where they sell taquitos and figure out her purpose for existence.
And like I said, most of those are just poor planning.
So I think that comes to the laziness aspect, and then maybe just lack of discipline as well around that. 30.49% is the interest rate on this that you're choosing to have.
30.49. Wow. Oh my goodness.
Because you're just, whatever you pay on it, you're immediately just blowing up again. $81 of interest has been stolen from you this year so far, and $25 of fees, likely a missed payment. Not this statement balance, or not this statement did you miss a payment, but probably historically. And why do I think that? Because here, Synchrony, immediately. I mean, come on. Why are we...
Synchrony is a major bank.
Why are we not making... How are you missing a payment?
Wow. Okay, so let's take a look, people. Let's take a look. Of course, I don't have my glasses, but we'll do the best I can. Okay, I'm looking for late fees. It looks like amount... Oh, she has an amount past due. Look up here in the orange. Amount past due, $40. You know, it's like you want to pray to Jesus to help her, but I'm afraid that it's already too late. Okay, so we have an amount past due of $40. We have total minimum payment due is $117. This is September 19, 2023. I told you, God love Caleb, this is current. Okay, so put this on top of all the taquitos, on top of the current student loan debt that she's already in, which I don't think they ever said what that amount was. Why do I see a slippery slope coming here with past due? Do you guys notice that a lot of the reaction videos I've done, when people are heavily in debt, and I did a YouTube short on this, I think about a week ago, when people are heavily in debt, past due becomes so easy to look at. Late fees, over the limit fees, other, fees attached for poor money management. And I really strongly believe that part of the reason people start to dismiss those is because when you already owe six figures, what's a $40 late fee? Okay, what is a $40 late fee? You don't even see it after a while. And after a while, you become just totally numb to the emotion of it. I get a late fee on Sunday. It's like, oh my God, I have to stop what I'm doing. I must call the bank right now. I got to sort this out. Okay? I had one late fee in 10 years. In the last 10 years, I had one late fee and they overturned it. I won't say what was going on, but I was having issues in my life. And they went ahead and they overturned it. That's it. That's the only late fee I've ever had. And it didn't even hit my credit report to top it off. Okay? That's how my credit score is 818 as of about a week or two ago. All right? When you are no longer panicked over your late fees, when you can just look at a bill and go, yeah, $40 late fee, because it's against the backdrop of a six-figure debt.
How are we going and spending $225 on just Chick-fil-A, taquitos, death? Why are we doing that?
And I'm going to say something else. She doesn't look medically well to me. Okay? I'm not saying she's obese, because she's not. But if I just had to look, if I just had to assess, the health of her skin and all of that, all this junk food it's showing in her skin. And you're talking to somebody, I'm 56 years old, all right? And I have taken great lengths. Okay, nothing over drastic, because anybody who knows me, I don't do expensive creams and all that stuff. I'm talking oil Valet and Walmart. Okay, that's what I do. But what you eat shows on your skin. It shows. All right. I would like her, for her sake, to eat healthier so she could feel better, and feeling better might help her be a little less lazy.
But we're just not simply making a minimum monthly payment on a card. You have chosen taquitos. You have chosen Chick-fil-A over actually dealing with the bills that you have signed up to pay.
You notice how Caleb Hammer is having to do the role of what the parent should be doing? This is the role that a parent should have been dealing with her on. Not a YouTuber. But when your parent is just as messed up, when your parent has $100,000 and a bunch of degrees, okay, but is holding on to their own $100,000 for the last 20 years, where is someone like her supposed to not only learn the information on, who the heck is supposed to motivate them? This should not be a role that Caleb or any other YouTuber has to do. But they're doing it. I'm doing it because you realize so many people don't know.
Do you not care?
I do care.
This is not demonstrating.
Yeah, he's right. It's not demonstrating. She doesn't care enough to change the circumstance, but I assure you she wants the best of everything. She's going to want the best law school, okay? Best teachers, best city. She's going to want the best job, but she's not going to do anything to get it. I think we all know people like that. They want the best of everything, but they want to do nothing to earn it.
I do care. Before, like I said, before I really combed through my finances, I was like, well, I'll be honest, I guess I didn't care. But now over the last few months, I'm like, where is all this money like going? And
so if you didn't care,
taquitos, Chick-fil-A, and expensive bottled water. That's where the money's going.
Before, I'm curious, like, what has made you
graduating college and realizing, oh, can't survive on my own, and my parents aren't going to help me forever.
So it's the fear surrounding that.
Yeah, and another fear is I want to set myself up now in my mid-20s so I can be in a safer place the rest of my life. So.
Yeah.
No, honey. You're not going to be in a safer place the rest of your life. You're going to follow your parents' footsteps, and your dad's $100,000 is going to look like a cakewalk compared to probably the $300,000 bill you're going to come out with. And you're in your mid-20s. By the time you're in your 30s, your student loan bill is going to start packing on interest so fast you won't be able to keep up. You will need to make anywhere from $3,000-$4,000 a month just to keep up with the interest and pay into part of the principal. No. Every action that is being taken, every word that she says is defeating. You're not setting yourself up. If I were advising you, I would tell you to immediately stop law school. Okay, change your diet, get any job at this point, and start attacking the debt you do have. Stay at home if you can, continue to live there, maybe pay your parents a little bit of rent or find a way to compensate for being there, and get yourself out of debt. You are not ready for law school. You are not ready for the responsibilities of it. You can't treat your life with respect. How are other people supposed to put their lives in your hands? That's like saying you want to be a doctor, but you won't even take care of yourself. I don't want you to be my doctor. No, thank you.
that makes sense. Now, okay, you started wanting to change after graduation. This was your most recent statement, though.
Mm-hmm.
So this just happened.
Yeah.
We were just like, nah.
But also during the summer, like I was trying to transfer stores, so that was taking a bit of time, and my store was like an hour away from my house, so I was spending every last dime on like gas, like every
taquitos.
Every day I was like filling up.
I can sympathize with that if we didn't just look at the statement through the same exact time of you just around and spending money on $250.
Yeah, it's not the gas that's making her go broke, even if she has to drive an hour a day. It's not the gas. It's all the crap that she's buying, that she has bought. That's what it is. The gas itself, yeah, okay, that's kind of hard. You got to change stores, spend a little extra money in gas. It's the $40 over the limit late fees, or I think it was the $40 late fee she had or something like that.
Which, you had a minimum monthly payment of $40. Mm-hmm. You could have paid that.
I could have. I chose to ignore it.
There.
Bingo! Oh, my God. Oh, I want to hit myself over the head. Holy cow. Oh, I don't know which is harder. A woman who is so naive that she doesn't know she's killing her future, or a woman who knows she's killing her future but doesn't give an SHI, you know what. I think the woman who knows she's killing her future but doesn't give an SHI is worse than the woman who's too naive. I'd rather have you be just too naive and you don't know. She knows. She knows. She's in her mid-20s. Holy cow. So, Your Honor, I was late with my client's file because I really just didn't care. So, Your Honor, I forgot to call all the witnesses because, well, I just didn't care. But don't forget to put me in a really good law school. I want the best.
It is. We have a new minimum monthly payment due because of the past due and everything of $117. So normal minimum monthly payment of $40, which is what I'm going to put down. We owe $1,280 on it and 56 cents.
Is that fair?
Now, $23 of interest is accrued on it, death, and $40 of fees. $40 of fees because you just didn't pay it. And if you only make the minimum payments, if you're not, by the way, you're not even doing that. But if you only do, it's going to take 7 years to pay off, and it's going to charge you an additional $1,250.
Boom. She makes only the minimum payment 7 years. This is before law school's been added on. Yeah, this is before law school's been added on. Do we see the problem, young people? Or people of any age? Do we see the problem? In the olden days, they didn't even have to tell us how long it would take. In the olden days, okay, like when I was in college, and certainly earlier, credit card companies didn't have to spell it out. It is now legally required. If you look on your bill, they actually have to tell you now. If you pay this much today, it'll take you this long. Okay, they now have to legally tell you that. That's now required. Because there was such an uproar, people going, we didn't know. Although sometimes just because now that we know doesn't necessarily mean people are going to change their habits. Now we just gasp a little longer and look at it and go, oh, okay, well, that's how long it's going to take. Wow.
$1,250 stolen from you. But it's even worse than that because you're not doing it. Total interest this year so far.
Let's take a look.
200.
Okay, so total interest, this is on one freaking card. Total fees, $189. Total interest charge. Okay, let's all pause and look. Look up here. Total fees charged, okay? And this is where I want people to see the same thing happens with student loans. Like I've said, student loans and credit card bills, to me, they're the exact same thing. Student loans are worse because you can't go bankrupt, and it's amortized, so all the interest is up front. But let's take a look. Total fees for this card is $189. Total interest is $195. Total interest paid, $264.50. Look at the interest, $200. Now, all by itself, $200 may not seem significant. Tacking on to a bunch of student loan bills, tacking on to a bunch of other credit card bills with late fees, over the limit fees, interest, now becomes part of that snowball effect. Just gets bigger and bigger.
$84.50.
$300 in just interest? Like I said, yes. I avoid the statement, so I did not.
Well, we're not avoiding it anymore. We're a big girl, and we're gonna take care of our life.
No, she'll avoid it. Once Caleb is done with this, she will be the type to go home and go, shove it in there, shove it back inside the closet there, or go order some taquitos and order some more water and get back to her usual routine.
Because your life matters. Your life actually matters. But in order to actually take control of your life, we have to address some of the issues, which is why you're here. Right. So, and then total.
I will commend her for being here. We have to give her snaps for that. Okay, she did come. She showed up.
Fees $180, and if it's $40 per assessed fee, I mean, come on, $189. You've missed like almost every payment this year so far.
Yeah,
you're just like,
she's so casual about it. It just kills me. I'm not kidding. I had one late fee in 10 years. One. And I practically went running to the bank. It was a late fee, and they reversed it. I don't remember what was happening in my life, but something was happening. I don't remember what, but it was like, oh my goodness. You see, we're supposed to panic when we see a late fee because it means we forgot something. It means we slipped somewhere in our responsibility.
It's just like we've given up. We've just given up on our life, on finances.
Yes and no. I really didn't work very much over the last, from like January to March.
Why?
My grandfather passed away, and that was hard, and I was trying to finish college at the same time.
Yeah, that's always hard when you have a loved one pass away and you're trying to finish college. And it's doubly hard when you are not motivated to get off the lazy train. So now it's really hard because the most disciplined amongst them that want to get into law school, they're going to give it everything they've got, and they have to get through an unfortunate loss in the family. Now you take someone who's undisciplined, okay, doesn't want to work too hard, but yet wants to go to law school and loses. I think you get the point.
Time, and that was hard.
That is very difficult.
I'm sorry.
So I didn't work from, like I said, from January to mid-March.
Did you try to contact these? No, I don't know if they would have, but sometimes some some banks can have some sympathy. If you if you explain what's going on, did you at least try?
No.
So you just let everything just fall.
Yeah.
But let's say that hadn't happened. Let's say it wasn't about the death of her grandfather. What else has she done with the rest of her life? Where's everything gone? Just let it fall. Right? So, well, yes, she lost her grandfather, and that is highly unfortunate. We'll obviously be very respectful about that. The behavior with that loss matches the behaviors of all the other things that she has done for herself financially, nutritionally, and everything else. Just kind of let it go.
Credit scores in the 500s, high 500s.
Let's freeze it.
Now it's up. It's 640 now.
Okay.
Well,
I don't know if they would have, but sometimes some some banks can have some sympathy.
I want to take a look
if you
at this.
if you explain what's going on, did you at least try?
No.
Yeah. A lazy person doesn't try. They don't. Trying takes effort. And she wants to go to law school, and she wants to go to the best. I wish she could see her reflection like the rest of us see it.
So you just let everything just fall.
Yeah, you could say that.
Credit scores in the 500s.
Okay, so FICO score as of August 23, 599. It's actually higher than I expected it to be. Okay, to be totally honest, I was thinking it'd be like, 540. Based on TransUnion. So that's what it is. 599 as of August 27th, 2023. Okay.
High 500s.
Now it's up. It's 640 now.
Okay. So we have a Discover It card with $697.84 owed on it. $93 of payments, good. So you made payment, and that was more than the minimum monthly. So that's also confusing because you should have just paid the last one. This is just unorganized and just messing around. $17 of interest accrued. No purchases on this, which thank goodness. And it's a 27.24% interest. You've lost $137 of interest on this card so far in fees.
Oh, do you see where bad money management costs you? My credit cards they don't charge me interest. I get probably in this last week alone, I've gotten offers from 3 creditors to please put anything on my card for the next year and a half. Okay, I'm talking from American Express. Chase wants me to open a bank with them. Just big Capital One, just big creditors. Okay, big creditors. No, not doing it. But when you have poor money management, when you are in debt, over the limit, can only pay the minimum, you are attracting a certain amount of vultures. Okay, you have to think of credit card lenders like vultures. And when they see, don't be fooled, when they see that all you can pay is the minimum, they go, hey, that's fresh prey. You think they're giving you a card because they like the way you manage your money. Yeah, they like the way you fail with it. Because when you are maxed out, when you hit more than, I think, 25-30% of the credit card balance. So if you have a $100 card, you shouldn't put more than 30% on there. I know it seems kind of weird to, well, why do you have a credit card? They don't want us to put money. Hey, it's a game, okay? But that game, they see people who don't know how to manage their money as fresh prey. But you are not prey for the good side. If there's a good side of credit cards, you're not courted by the credit card companies that say, hey, 0% for the next year or two, just open up cards with us. You're prey for the other side. The one that says, hey, you know what? These guys don't follow their bill. I'll tell you, I opened up a little cake business, and I did need to get a business credit card for it, okay? I was paid, true story, I was paid a ridiculous $300 in 10 minutes if I would open up 2 business credit cards. Now, I have very good control of my credit. Very, very good control. So I knew exactly what I was doing, and I did need to have them because I have a business, and I don't want to mix my personal with my private. I was paid, I even texted a couple of my friends and said, I just made $300 in 10 minutes opening 2 credit cards because I needed them for my business. That's what you get when you have really good credit. Along with, would you please put something on it? Okay. Now, I know this is not the Dave Ramsey way of doing it. We don't have to do it all the way, the way Dave Ramsey wants. But the key is to know your needs, your limitations, your skills. But I'm paid ridiculous amounts of money, and it's amazing. And then, of course, I get all the cash back. So I figured I'd probably get about another $300 a year in cash back. So it's ridiculous, but that's for the right reasons. And no, I don't intend to get rich off it. Nobody ever got rich off of credit card perks, but it does get me some nice perks. And I was able to upgrade my YouTube equipment. So when she's got all these credit card deals, and people are like, how does she get credit cards when her credit is so bad? Because she's being courted by the people who are predators, the predatory loans. Okay, that's how she's getting the deals. Not the deal, but you understand what I mean.
He's likely from a missed payment of $30 this year so far.
Was that another missed payment? I can't keep up with all these missed payments.
TDECU Credit Union. We owe $2,558.25. Kill me now. I mean, on your income, that says we can't do that. And then if we're going into law school with all this, it just doesn't make sense.
All of these credit cards I took out while I was in college because
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You're going into law school. They're going to look at this before they hand you a certificate to say you're an attorney, but not before they take your money. They will take your money first. They will have you go through the whole procedure. Just like the doctor who ran up $400,000+ in loans and realized he couldn't pass the medical exam, the boards, because he flunked the medical boards twice. They will take you, sweetheart, all the way up to the end. And then between your parents and you guys can be sitting on $500,000 in in a student loan and credit card bills.
Oh, I'm going to pay them off when I get my refunds. But nope, I treated them as debit cards and spent all of that money. So that's...
And the refunds anyways.
She spent them on taquitos.
The money you owe.
Some of it.
What? I got with the rest from like Pell Grants?
Yeah, I got Pell Grants, and they're like COVID grants, and I had a few scholarships. So truthfully, I could have paid for it, but nope, I took out loans.
Yes, we'll get there. $25 of late fees. Another account with late fees. This just demonstrates that, I'm sorry, we just don't give a shit. You said you started giving a shit at graduation, but this just happened.
Yeah.
You have not demonstrated that you care at all. $29 of interest stolen from you, $30 essentially, and $25 of fees.
Truthfully, if I'm being honest, while I was, like I said, I was in college when I took most of these out. I didn't really care about the fees and stuff. I cared about impressing my classmates. And
I'm going to have to give her credit. She's at least admitting it. She's admitting she doesn't care about it. She's at least admitting it.
Boys.
No, I know, but I was in college when you took this out. True. This just happened in terms of you not paying.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I am not going to bully you for something you did in college, taking out the cards. I am going to bully you for what you're doing right now as a wake-up call. Because if anyone needs a wake-up call that I've talked to recently, I'm sorry, it's you. That's because I care about you, and do not let me for a single second care about your situation more than you do.
Bingo! Tell her, Caleb. Yeah. I tell my students all the time, I can't care more about your grade than you do. I can't. One, it's too draining, okay, and it's not my job. I can't care more about it than you do. Now, they are little, they're teenagers, so, sometimes I have to care a little more, okay? But that comes with part of being a teacher, and I don't mind. But that's something that I try to teach them is, you have to care more. You have to worry more than I do. And again, I think it's just her nonchalant. I mean, how many of us would be this calm? Okay, it's like, yes, That was just something I observed.
Because your future matters.
It does a lot.
13.99% interest on this. I mean, it's still disgusting, but compared to normal credit card rates, it's not the worst. But your balance is, of course, aggressively $125 of fees. So that means you've missed 5 payments this year so far here based on their fees that we just saw. 5 payments. 5.
Oh, this is her lifestyle. Guys, she's not going to be an attorney. She's not. She's not going to be an attorney. They will take her money, and then they will dismiss her for that career. And shame on her parents for telling her to go to school and for encouraging her to model after their god-awful behaviors. I wouldn't want anybody modeling after my $110,000 fiasco. I wouldn't want anybody modeling after that. And that's part of the reason I started this channel. I want to tell people, don't do it. Don't do it. Never would I tell someone, oh yeah, just go ahead and model after me. Nah. I was no example of what to do. I was an example of what not to do.
So for more than half the months of this year so far...
Caleb, I just told you I didn't work 5 of these months this year, so...
Yes, but this, you are working the month that we just looked at. I'm sorry. Let's not try to justify. $264 of interest charged this year.
Look at
so we've had well over $1,000 of interest dragged from your life and existence.
I'm not ready for that one. I already know what.
More than $1,000 in interest. And you want to know where your money's going? It's going to the banks. More than $1,000 in interest. And that's just in this amount of time.
Yes, this one
is... Get on my... About this
insanity.
I got this car last May when the car market was high. I walked into the dealership all by myself because my car, the one that I had, broke down basically. So I was like, I can sell this and use the down payment. I could basically just let the car salesman just run my credit. And I was like, whichever one I get approved for, just do it. But I got approved for several, but I was just ready to leave.
Whatever one I get approved for, just...
Getting a car is one of the easiest things you can do. If you can show you have a driver's license, you can get a car. Big Jim Buck car down the street discount showroom will be more than happy to sell you a car. Getting a car is nothing to brag about. It really isn't. Anybody can get a car. For the most part. I'll never say all people, but most people can. She is, I think what's concerning is how apathetic she appears to be towards all of this. And it's because she's operated like this for so long that she's numb to it, and you can tell. Yet she knows what she's supposed to do. Because she'll say, yeah, I said I was going to do this and then I chose not to. So she knows what she's supposed to do. She's just not interested in doing it.
Do it?
Yeah, and now here I am with that high interest rate.
I didn't capture the minimum monthly payment for the TCU.
I think it's like 51.
Oh, my gosh. On the TCU, you're over the credit card limit.
Oh,
$58. I didn't even see that.
Oh, this is like a roller coaster ride that won't stop.
So why didn't you try to go with some?
So now she's over the limit. This is like I said, I skimmed this video, but of course I never watch it in depth. And usually I don't even skim it. The Dave Ramsey ones, I don't skim those even. That's just played as I do it. Oh my Lord. Oh, she's over. Okay, so of course there's more fees attached to that.
Someone.
I was trying to hide it from my parents.
I don't know why she's trying to hide it from her parents. They're the ones with the 6-figure debt telling her to go to school and ignore it. Yeah.
It sounds like your dad's addicted to debt anyways.
Yeah. He said it sounds like your dad's addicted to debt. So why are you telling him? Why do you care? I wouldn't care.
Yeah, that's just true. Yeah.
He injects that into his...
It's almost like I want to tell her to get mad. I want to tell her to stand up, scream, shout, do something, cry, you know, I don't know, bark at the air, do something. It's just, she's so calm about all this. And I'm like, do something. I'm looking for a reaction that says you're alive and you're aware that you're in financial peril. Instead, I just see the building burning and, you know, the occupants are inside, happy making dinner.
They need student loans all day.
And now it's been passed down to me, but I'm got to take responsibility.
It's been, yes, you know it's been passed down to you, but are you doing anything to change it?
Absolutely. Late charge.
My car note is high as I can't afford it.
You're right. You can't afford it. You shouldn't have gotten it. Why have you not sold
Late charge.
Here's the thing.
So the car that she said, get me anything that I can get approved for, that car isn't even being paid for on time. Oh, my Lord.
I'm going to be underwater with the loan. I've looked up the value with the car.
No, honey. You're not underwater with just this loan. Your whole financial picture is severely underwater. Severely. Like you have no business at this point even going into law school.
Underwater like $8,000-9,000.
There's methods to do it.
No save.
We'll take a look.
With no savings, so.
I know.
She's saying she's underwater $8,000 to $9,000 on the car. That's just the car we're talking about. She's underwater. And she's not made any payments on time.
Methods to do it. The interest rate I could not find on the statement. What's the interest rate of this? Oh, please.
17.17.
$23,812 owed on it. Late fees.
17% interest rate on the car. Hey, she drives a Toyota. She drives the exact same car I'm driving. I drive a 2020 Toyota Corolla. I lease one. Yes, I like leasing a car, and I will do it again. Let's take a look here. Pay this amount, 561 by, okay, 370. Her car payment, I'm looking at year mate. Yeah, she drives a 2020 Corolla. It's exactly what I have. Monthly payment amount, 5 something, whether I can't read. Outstanding balance. Okay. Yeah, we drive identical cars. Exact same year.
Because they're just not even making the payments even though you have no rent. And I'm sorry, I know you're studying a lot, but when we're trying to pay off debt, if we're actively trying and we're trying to make it in life and hit these goals, we work 40 hours a week and then we study an additional 40 hours a week. It's just not an option. You have no other life but just grinding because she's
not a grinder though, Caleb. She's too lazy to be a grinder by her own admission. To people who grind, I have grinded at work. Don't take that out of context, all right? Let's not take that out of context. Okay, I grind, and this is I've worked hard at work. Okay, I didn't come out quite right. All right, I've done it. All right, I know what it is to grind. She has never grinded. I need to find a different word than that. Okay, but she hasn't ever really worked hard. She hasn't.
Around for so long that now you have to pay for that, and that sucks. I'm sorry, but that is the reality of the situation.
It is, and now I'm realizing I have to take accountability for my actions and work to fix them. And
she needs to fix them before she even thinks of stepping foot in a law school. See, and sometimes I wish that the medical, legal, anything where you're gonna spend 8 years in education, I almost think that there should be some sort of stopgap measure. I understand there isn't, okay, because it's personal responsibility, okay, but sometimes I wish that there were some sort of stopgap measure that before someone could go any further, their finances had to get into check. And I know people go, well, then that would keep us from all getting to law school. Yeah, and it sure as hell would keep a lot of people from flunking out of medical school and flunking out of law school and then winding up with a $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 student loan they can't pay. That if there was some sort of stop, you can't go anywhere, do not pass, go, until you have been looked at and you've been vetted. Are you on track? Is your credit on track? It's like someone who wants to be a teacher. They get all the way through the teaching program and then realize they have a background criminal record that they can't pass. Yeah, that happens. It really does happen. And other professions where you require licensing and all of that stuff.
What's the term on this? Do you know how many months?
It was 72. Then
72 months. Yeah, people may say leasing is bad, but if I wanted to buy my lease car, if I really, really wanted to buy it off at the end of the lease, it would take me about 12 months to pay it off. That's it. 12 months, I'd have it knocked out, and I could get it at 0% interest. Yeah, I would have no problem doing that either.
It's till September 2028.
It's a 2020 Toyota Corolla. Any damage, anything?
Not really.
Hey, and let me tell you something. Those 2020 those Corollas is my second Corolla, and I absolutely love it, and I will be keeping it. Well, not keeping that car. To me, it's a luxury being able to lease. Yeah, it's a luxury. I don't drink. I don't smoke. You know, I just spend stuff on my YouTube channel. All right, but I mean, it's a luxury. That's a luxury that I decided I wanted to afford when I hit my early 50s, and I leased a car the first time. I loved it so much. I leased it again the second time, and I like it so much I'm going to do it a third time. Yeah, I've owned cars for years and years. I didn't care for it. But 72 months, that's a lot of months. I don't understand it personally. These 72 month car loans that people get themselves into, it just, I just can't do it. I can't do it.
Really? No.
Let's check the value.
It's about 16,000.
Well, you tried to hide it.
Yeah, it sounds about right. Again, we had the exact same car, and my car lease payoff in 24, at the end of 24, is about 16,000.
From your parents, but now this is in his driveway every day. What does he think?
The same as you. He was like, "Why didn't you tell me?" I was like, "What?
Why does he care? He's got his own 6-figure debt to deal with." Here's another thing about when you have really good control of your finances, okay? Even something like purchasing a car, paying off a car, doesn't become such a daunting thing. It doesn't. It doesn't become a daunting thing. But you can't be spending it on taquitos. You can't be spending it on stupid bottled water that you can just refill. You can't do that.
So I was a bit confused.
I'm saying it go about 17,000.
Depending on where you look, yeah.
Yeah, on private sale.
I didn't even think about that. I looked at the one for a dealership.
That's its KBB value, and KBB these last few years have actually undervalued things. I don't know if they are anymore, but it also depends on, of course, the actual version of the car. But so what we would do in this situation usually is, okay, so you'd be underwater $5,000, just about.
More underwater. This girl knows, she's gonna know how to deep dive swim by the time we get done with this.
What we do, instead of you having to pay $23,000 on the 17%, because this would be such a big change for you, $10,000 is a lot. We could save you $10,000 by you borrowing $15,000. Personal loan. 5 of that 15 goes to fully paying this off. Sales price and the 5.
Okay.
The $10,000, this would be like a personal loan. You'd be able to qualify at your credit score. The interest rate's going to be death, but you're already at death. You get a $10,000 car. That's the finessing that would have to be done when underwater. And compared to a lot of other people that bought it in a high car market, you're actually not underwater drastically.
But that's a lot of finessing for someone who admits that they're lazy. I know someone who shall remain unnamed that wants the best of everything. And you can lay out for this person exactly what to do. You can give them the whole rule book. They have to find nothing. All they have to do is just do it, and they still won't do it. They still won't do it.
Okay.
This is bad. Yeah. And you can't afford this.
Yeah.
At all.
It's as simple as that. Not on this income, at least. I think you could be making more money. I think you could utilize your degree.
Honestly, I'm a bit complacent, comfortable in doing this job for like 5 years. So
I'm sorry, but
lady, no disrespect. Why the hell do you want to be an attorney? Probably one of the toughest careers to battle through, because it's not just about getting the degree. Now you're going to have to battle to get it with a firm. You're going to have to prove yourself. Why do you want to go into law? What are you trying to serve? What purpose are you trying to serve? If you're trying to one-up your parents for whatever reason, I'm sorry, you're not going to one-up them. You're just not. All you're going to wind up doing is joining them in debt.
Easy to do.
We're not comfortable anymore. It just can't be a thing. That only you can change that. I can't do that for you. I can help create a budget and all this stuff, but only you can change your comfort level and what you want to do to actually attack this.
I realize I'm not comfortable anymore after just going through my stuff, and it's like I've been looking for jobs that are salary paying jobs and whatnot. I just honestly don't know where to look. Like I've been Googling like stuff, but I don't know where to look.
That, you know what, Googling is not going to get you the job. You're going to have to do contacts. I think just straight Google, you could Google all day. You could Google all day, all night, and it's just going to fall into the internet stratosphere. One advantage she does have is she has her youth. So at least, you know, in that regards, you know, she would be more user-friendly towards the, what is it, the computer algorithm that looks at age and stuff. Whereas I'm 56, they'd look at me and go, 1967, okay? So you got people who were born after 2000, of course. So she's got an advantage there. But she really needs to go out and make contacts, meet people, you know, the stuff that you can't do when you're LAZY.
Honestly, the title of this video might be "This is the worst financial situation I've ever seen," because this might be the worst financial situation I've ever seen.
I would have to agree. This is one train wreck after the other. It's pretty bad. But in the end, does it really matter how you got to your debt that you couldn't afford? Whether you are the doctor that flunked out of school, med school twice, that owes $430,000, whether you're the mother that I did a story on the other day, who took out $360 some odd for Parent Plus loans to get her 2 boys through school, and now, you know, she was on the tiers of Dave Ramsey. Whether you're this person, it's almost like it doesn't matter how you got there. It's the fact that you got there.
It's there's a few up there that are tied.
Yes.
And I'm sorry.
Yes.
I'm sorry that you're dealing with this. I really am.
And the girl that was the model, $250,000 student loan, I did that the other day. She's tied. She is equally tied for popularity as far as who can destroy their debt. These 2 young ladies, excuse me, these 2 young ladies are destroying, literally. You could just take a jackhammer and you can just, you know, pound it into their future and just shatter it. And I will tell you, as an educator, this breaks my heart, because you're sitting there and you can see it. You can see the damage. You see what's coming. You see that this isn't even the worst of it. I mean, I almost want to cry for her, to be totally honest.
But please allow this to be the wake-up call, and I need you to give a so this AT&T, what even is this? What is all?
The wake-up call is this: don't go to law school. You're not ready. You don't have the maturity. You don't have the discipline. I'm not saying that in a mean way, okay? No, you don't have the maturity's there. The discipline is not there. The appearance is not there. The whole package is not there yet. And that's not to say it can't be developed while you're in law school, but there is still a certain package. There is still a certain amount of things that you should be able to present and be ready to present by now. There are students in her time frame that could kick her butt. All right? I mean, it is what it is. Okay? She's at the bottom of the choice stack. And even if a top school took her, they're only taking her for her money. That's the only reason they're taking her. But when it comes time to find a job, that's where the rubber meets the road, right?
All this that's owed.
It's a phone, an iPad, and an Apple Watch.
Oh, Jesus.
Not even wearing it.
I left
more
in my
crap.
car. But yeah, you're right.
Past due $506. When's the last time you made a payment on this thing?
A couple weeks ago. I'm caught up now.
You're caught up now? So this is done?
No.
No, it's not done, but this is, like, the past dues are all done on this?
Yes.
What is owed on a normal monthly basis with this?
About $230.
$230.
I was behind the
What's owed in total?
Nothing is owed on the phone because I got trading value. About $286 is owed on the watch, and like $900 is owed.
What is she doing buying a watch like that? Oh, I have my little watch on here. Okay, I got this for $189 because I always buy I always buy the model that is considered the prior model, right? Buy the prior model. That's what I always do. And I waited years to buy this. I think I wore my old Fitbit for like 3 years. I wore it till the band completely broke. There was no way to salvage it. And then I bought this last year.
Bad.
You don't need it.
I was in school when I got it.
I was in school when I got it, and I have to have it right now because I gotta look like all the other cool kids. What's that song, All the Cool Kids? I can't remember the words to it. I won't save you from my singing skills or lack thereof. Yeah, see, when you're a student, you need all these things.
It's not as good as a laptop anyway.
Look at that. She's making Caleb Hammer cry.
It's like 1,150-ish.
Yeah, I could say that.
What's the interest rate? Is there an
There
interest
wasn't
rate?
one. No.
0%, but you're f***ing yourself with the late payments anyway. Do you own anything on this new phone?
No.
How?
I
You
got a
bought
trade in. I got a trade in value.
And it fully covered?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, you killed yourself on this one. This is not something you needed to do. We did not need a watch. I love my Apple Watch.
I didn't.
I budgeted it.
Yeah, I didn't need it.
She didn't need the taquitos either.
I might just honestly try to sell the Apple Watch.
I tried to return it. They didn't.
Well, return.
No,
Yeah, it's
no,
probably not
they
an
will
option.
not.
I think we try to sell it.
How?
Facebook Marketplace, something like.
No. She doesn't want to sell it, Caleb. She doesn't want to sell the watch. Okay, she doesn't want to sell it.
That.
Okay.
Because it doesn't matter if you can. You said you owe like $250. What's the Apple Watch? What is it?
I'm not sure.
SE series 8, 7.
I'm not
9.
sure. I'm really not.
Yeah, you buy a piece of equipment, you don't even know what it is. Compulsive shopping, anybody? Compulsive shopping, anyone?
I just said I wanted an Apple Watch and the cheapest one, and they got it.
Kind of like she said, I walked into the car dealership and I just told them, get me whatever car my credit will allow. Honey, you are a salesman's dream. I don't care if it's selling watches, cars, credit cards on the the campus corner with the free t-shirts. Oh my, and I don't own one of those damn t-shirts today either. Always remember that, children. The free crap they give you, okay? You're not going to keep it beyond a few days, if that.
Okay. Well, if we can say anything we want, it just happens, then I'm going to say, please save us all from the chaos of this financial situation and hit subscribe. It'll make me feel better. Hopefully it'll make you feel better. But it'll make me feel better.
And I don't just subscribe. I'm a channel member. I am a paying channel member. I'm just saying. I love this channel. I could watch Caleb and his interviews here with these clients. I could watch this all day.
I'm trying to get to like 1 million subscribers. I can't believe I'm maybe
and he'll get it.
750,000. I don't know if we're there at the time of this, but thank you to everyone who has subscribed so far. I'm sorry.
And as long as you're subscribing to him, you might as well hit subscribe to mine too. I mean, at 650, I'll take it.
Going through this. Oh, but you always got to call out the subscribe button. So we have a
good way to support your YouTubers.
Yes, so much freedom, owing $1,233.
Because we do this for free.
And 10 cents. With a minimum monthly payment of $45. These minimum monthly payments are just ruining your existence. $33.
When I was at my I won't even say my brokest. When I was at one of my brokest, I couldn't make the minimum payments. And it was just scraping to make them. I mean, scraping. $31.06, and I didn't pay a dime more than what I had to.
Of interest loss on a monthly basis. No purchase is good. $29 of fees this year so far, so we've missed payments, and $201 of interest charged this year so far.
Are you getting numb to the fees? Are you kind of getting numb? It's like you almost get to the point you go, yep, more fees, more interest. And guess what? Okay, when you have really good credit, you don't pay interest. I don't pay interest on my cards. I think in 10 years, okay, I incurred a little bit of interest payment when I was in the process of getting my condo. Because I was juggling money, and I was in the process of getting my condo. And I think I carried interest for a really short period of time. It was just, all the purchasing that I had to do to get, do my condo makeover and all of that stuff. Because trust me, what you see back behind me, that this is not the way the condo came. It was god awful. And I gave it like a $18,000 facelift. So I did use some credit cards to do that, but I wasn't concerned because the amount of interest I was going to have to pay to begin with was very low, and I knew I'd pay it off in a flash. And I had the entire condo done and paid for in 2.5 years, and I was able to get next to almost not quite zero interest, but I was able to get very, very close to none, and that lasted probably for about a year, and then it was back to zero credit card again. So 10 years, I accepted that. That wasn't a big deal to me.
Thousands of dollars in the drain this year of interest charged so far, and you've barely even made that much. Then we have student loans.
Okay, all right. Okay, I'm back. I might have to go back on my word, and I'm going to work it through the student loan portion, and then I think I'm going to go ahead and call it done. The goal is that people see exactly the thought process, the actions, and the things that it takes to create a life where you are so burdened with student loan debt in your 20s, you can't get out of it until your 40s, 50s, 60s, and if you ever do. And the goal is that people see that it's not one action that is creating this, but it's many actions, and it's actions taken over time, including advice from parents and their actions and the domino and generational effect it has on student loans. So we're going to go ahead, work through this student loan section, and then I think I'm going to go ahead and stop the video there. I will link it in the description box as to where Caleb Hammer Financial Audit is for this specific video. All right, let's go ahead and knock this out. And anyone who goes, oh, this is too long, because his interview alone was an hour, which is a little bit, I don't know, for him, that's probably pretty normal. But anyone who complains about, oh, this is too much detail, too much time, I'll tell you, with what he does, with what I do, and others of us who really want to bring awareness to student loan debt, it is a whole lot easier for people to learn and watch through a video that they may spend an hour, hour and a half, even 2 hours watching, than it is to get into the debt and not be able to get out of it for decades. So consider that if someone says, oh, that's too much time to learn about student loans. Just something to think about. All right, we're going to go ahead through the student loan section, and then I think we're going to go ahead and wrap up this video. Let's do it.
November, but then after that I got another grace period already till next May, and then after that
What's the other grace period for?
You just get another one if you request it after you graduate.
Okay, so minimum monthly payments are not going to start like everyone else.
Correct.
And honestly, we've talked about income-based repayment here. And then if you go to law school,
and we know with income-based payments there is no ever paying off the loan if you go on income-based. The income-based payments don't even reach into the principal. Okay, so you take on a $100,000 student loan and they say all you have to pay is $300 a month, which is what I was paying. I was paying about $300 a month, but I wasn't worried about that because I was on student loan forgiveness because I'm a teacher. So that's why I got my loan for $110,000 forgiven in 2022. But for someone who is not on a public service loan forgiveness, or even if you're on one, you don't think you're going to be able to do it the whole 10 years. If you're only paying $300 a month, you are not reaching into the principal and the interest. For about $100,000 student loan, to even start into that principal balance, I think that for 10 years of payments, you're going to pay something like, $1,000, maybe $1,200. Do you have $1,000? You have $1,000 to just give up? Could you just hand me $1,000 every 4 weeks? If you can't do that, then you probably don't want to get yourself into a $100,000 student loan debt, because for every $100,000 you have, it's going to be a minimum of $1,000 to try to just get into through the interest and the principal. And don't forget, it's an amortized loan, which means for the first several years, all you're going to pay is interest. So you're going to be like, I have a $100,000 student loan. I made a $1,100 payment, and only $100 went towards the principal. Yes, because it's amortized. The interest is paid up front, just like a house, just like a car. All right. So we're going to work it through the student loan thing, and then I think we're going to go ahead and call it a night and upload this video.
I'm going to defer them again.
Well. Mm-hmm. But income based, I would almost do it.
Okay, she's deferring them. She's deferring those loans.
Situation simply because you cannot afford it.
Correct.
But income based is a little difficult because a lot of interest accrues during it, and it really seems like they're forgiven per administration. I don't want you to.
They are. It just depends on. I know this. It just depends on who's.
What he's saying is they're forgiven per administration, meaning it kind of depends upon the roll of the dice who's in office. Yes, that is true to a certain extent, at least as far as forgiveness. Yes, the level of forgiveness that was done, but there is some base, like public service. There is some basis, but it's. He's got a point. It kind of depends upon the role of, who's in the office and what way the wind is blowing.
Who's in office at the time and who's running the Department of Education. And
Exactly. Yeah. And I don't want...
Yes, that is true. Yes.
You to be in a situation when yours come up for forgiveness status to someone that's like, no, we're not doing that.
And they're very select about who they approve for forgiveness. So.
No. Well, okay, let me back up. The rules are tight. It's not like they look at me and they went, Carrie Horn, you are not approved, or Carrie Horn, you are approved. It's not like that. It's selective, as in you must be in this type of job. You must have served this many years. You must be on this type of payment plan. Your payments must have been made this way. You must have been on this program. That is what I think she's referring to more. It's not like they selectively, pick me out of a crowd and say, you get it and you don't. Although it feels that way.
Oh. There's just not a really good history of it. It's gotten a lot better recently, but there's really not a good history of it.
Oh, it has a horrible history, yes. But it has slowly improved.
Right.
Interest rates.
They're not terrible.
4 or 5%. Yeah, they're not crazy.
It's average.
We ended with $5 in a TDECU checking account. We ended with $5. We can't survive with $5. If we're ending with $5, why are we possibly taquitoing? Why are we possibly taquitoing? Why are we possibly taquitoing and quick quack? Probably taquitoing.
Yeah,
obviously, based on all this stuff.
Car wash.
Taquitoing.
Yeah.
Car wash? Yeah, it's a wash. Why are we washing?
Quick quack car wash. Someone had a creativity that afternoon. Quick quack. I'm trying to say that. Quick quack, quick quack, quick quack.
If we have $5 in a checking account, we're not washing our car. I don't give a shit if you're
$5 in a checking account. Raise your hand if you've ever had $5 or less. I have. Regularly. Not regularly, in years and years and years. But yes. Once I had to make a deposit for a quarter. Why? Because if I didn't put in that quarter, the check was going to bounce. I literally went to the bank. It was Washington Mutual. This is when I lived in Oregon. And I made a deposit at the teller for 25 cents. And I think that was probably 25 cents of 50 cents that I had. Should just buy the whole damn 50 cents.
car has this car that you can't even afford. You can't even afford this car. Why are we washing the car that you can't afford washing the car? You washing the car.
Do you see all the, next to giving Caleb a heart attack, do you see all the luxuries? All of this stuff is luxuries. When you are getting into student loan debt and you're doing, and it's not just student loan debt, it's credit card debt, okay? But these are all luxuries. Have you really seen her purchase anything of absolute necessity? Have we purchased medicine that we're aware of? Okay? What are we purchasing? Fast, quick, convenience, easy. What's the word she used? Lazy. That's what we're basically purchasing.
We can't afford it.
It's right. It can't be dirty.
Yes, it can be. Who gives a shit what it looks like? You're in it.
Who hasn't driven a dirty car with bird crap all over them and you didn't have the money to wash it off? You just pray for the gods of rain to happen, right? I think we've all been there. She has a tough time giving up luxuries. She's having a tough time. It's like, I don't even think she's entitled. I don't even feels like it's entitlement. You know, she lacks the energy. I'm saying that politely. She lacks the energy to, give me the impression that she feels entitled. I think it's just an apathetic combination of apathetic, lazy, don't care. Yeah. I have gone with dirty cars and literally the rain is what washed it. Hey,
You can't even see it. Who are you trying to impress that you're pulling up to on a at a stoplight? Mm-hmm. Who are you trying to impress?
Somebody with a cleaner car? I don't know.
Who gives a shit? If they look at your car, they will not remember it 5 minutes later unless you have like a crazy painting on it or some weird, Yeah, they won't remember. So who cares? Who cares? Who are you doing this for? Yourself? Once you're in your...
Sorry, Caleb, I don't mean to interrupt you on your moment of tirade there, but she really, really doesn't understand. It's almost like, I don't know if it's because she doesn't care or she doesn't understand. It's like you almost need a psychologist to peel this apart to some extent, because you notice the emotion that Caleb reacts with versus the emotion she does not react with. You notice the difference. You can tell he's affected by it. I mean, at one point I was ready to cry in the first part of it because I'm just like, I see what she's doing to herself. I see it clear as a bell. And she's just sitting there reactionless, which tells you something's wrong.
Car, you don't see it anyway.
You're not wrong.
I'm not wrong.
So you see, and the thing is every time she says that, I almost don't even know if I should be scared of her. I know she says it with such a calm. I mean, there's just no, I won't say something out of a horror movie, but it's like, Caleb showing the normal, hey, reaction, and then we've got the, yes, you are so right. I expect the spooky music to be playing any minute.
Probably taquitos. ATM withdrawal of $280. Where's that $280 going? We have no idea. Chick-fil-A. More ATM withdrawal $280. Where's it going? No one knows. Taquitos. Cruise.
Junk food, junk food, junk food.
Insufficient funds. insufficient
Oh,
funds.
more. Oh, Lord.
So you got overdraft.
More overdraft. I think the overdraft, and keep in mind, he's only looking at a certain period of time. He's not looking at years. He's looking at her account from just a small portion. Take what we're looking at and expand this into the last 2, 3, 4 years. This is humongous.
And did you at least try to call them? Get it reversed?
I did. Mm-hmm.
It was reversed.
On that one, yeah. It's kind of easy with a credit union, yeah.
Oh.
Yes, credit unions are outstanding, but let me tell you, they can revoke your membership just like any other bank. They may be a credit union, but they can revoke it. No, I've never had mine revoked, but you know.
Total overdraft fees this year so far.
More overdraft fees. Total year to date, $350, and this is from one card. Wow, this woman swims in overdraft fees. Wow. It adds up, folks. It adds up.
$352. I'm struggling here. I'm struggling.
Me too.
Blood pressure is like
That's the most reaction we've had out of her. Me too.
I shouldn't be struggling more than you though.
Exactly.
$398 in another checking account. I'm glad it's at least there. I want it to be at least 1,000 because
she doesn't need all these checking accounts. She doesn't need all these checking accounts. Maybe 2. I don't know. When I was in the process of debt freedom, and I still do it today, okay, I have one checking account dedicated just to my retirement withdrawal because I now put 35% away into retirement. That is it. Just for my retirement withdrawal, I'm arranging to have it taken, because this is all recent, I'm arranging to have it taken straight out of my paycheck and put straight into my retirement account. It's a checking account that all I do is I'm just going to look at it and go, yeah, the money's there, leave it. Then I have a checking account for my everyday stuff, okay? And that's because, all right, Dave Ramsey, hold your breath here. That's because I put everything on my credit card. It protects me with my purchases, especially major airlines, hotels, rental cars when I travel to go see my family. It gives me 1% to 2% cash back on everything. I usually net about $300-400 a year in fun stuff. And believe me, I don't use it to pay bills. I use it for fun stuff, things I would never normally purchase. Okay, things that are normal household related. I don't use my credit card cash back for that. I'm not trying to get rich on it. It is not what set me debt free, but it sure made the journey a lot easier knowing, hey, you know what? I got $300 worth of fun stuff I can buy anywhere. And I do, okay? So I have a checking account for that. And that's all I need. She's got so many checking accounts, you'd think she did have money.
You never know what's going to hit with automatic payments, but even still, I'm happy it's at least there. What I'm obviously not happy with is taquitos and taking toll roads. We're not taking toll roads.
Somebody tell me how to spell taquitos. I do not know. I think it sounds like T-A-K-T-K-I-T-O-S, taquitos. I have to look that up.
When we can't even afford to live. You're affirming things. I did. Taquitos and Paramount.
That was automatic payment. I didn't even know it was there until it came out, and I canceled it.
We're getting pho. I love pho, but why are we getting pho?
How does this woman get out of bed in the morning and get herself ready? God love her. God bless her.
Oh, when you can't even survive. And taquitos and Dairy Queen and taquitos and taquitos and taquitos and
Hey, back up on that Dairy Queen. I love Dairy Queen, although you got to eat that ice cream fresh out of the swirl machine. You cannot take it home and freeze. It's just not the same. It's just, it ain't the same.
And Chicken Express.
More chicken. Look at his reaction. I'm sorry. I'm just looking at his face.
Negative $11.06.
Oh, boy, you know, Caleb is being the parent she should have had. You know, I should play that face reaction. That face reaction, Caleb ever sees this, I doubt he will. I mean, you know, I'm just a small pea in a pod compared to him. But man, that face reaction a minute ago was perfect. He is being the parent she should have had. This is what a parent's supposed to do. Sit you down, slap paper down one at a time. This bill, late, overdrawn, young lady, we need to fix it. You're not going anywhere. And you're not going to law school till we get this crap cleaned up. That's the parent. He is doing her parents' job. I'm not going to insult her parents. Those are her parents, and I'm going to keep it nice. But he's doing her parents' job.
Okay, I'll explain. So I have a few checking accounts so I can move money around.
I can raise my hand on that. You move money around to try to avoid bouncing checks as quickly as possible. Really, that you know, pay Peter to rob Paul, something like that. It's getting late. Pay Peter to rob Paul. I think that's what it's called. Okay. I mean, you know, so there you go. It's bouncing. Yet she doesn't have the money to warrant having all these checking accounts. But it's a way to, you know, pay Peter and rob Paul, and you just kind of, you know, go around in your little, you know, we're trying to avoid the creditors and bouncing checks. So you think multiple checking accounts is what's going to solve it, and it's not.
None, really.
Okay, so why?
Wait, or is it rob Peter to pay Paul? Rob Peter to pay Paul? Or is it pay Peter to rob? Oh, it's late. All right, moving on. I never claimed to be perfect.
So I could like try to pay bills, and if I overdraft, some banks are more forgiving than others.
Snap, 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 snaps. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not laughing at her circumstance, because that's nothing funny. But yeah, see, a broke ass person like me knows what other broke ass person does and thinks. You know, an alcoholic knows an alcoholic, right? I'm not snapping at that. I'm snapping it because I know my business. I know it. I get it. Been there.
Overdrafting everywhere anyway. You're not making the bills.
Exactly.
Wait, there's no logic. There's no logic.
No, because when you get in this deep of a hole, there is no logic. And part of her lack of reaction is simply the fact that part of her is past the point of caring anymore. I want you guys to see, especially those of you that are young and you are thinking, oh, I want to go pay anything to go to the school of my dreams. It's not like, you know, she got up out of bed one day and all of a sudden is totally in debt. These are a series of actions. These are a series of actions, a series of small thoughts. That's the reason I'm going so in depth in this. Okay, this is a way longer video than I will probably ever make, at least for a while. But I'm attracted to it in the sense that it's showing you this is a series of steps. It's like a labyrinth we're trying to go through here, okay? And there's no straight point as to why she's going to be in the future, as to why she's in the debt she's in right now, and the catastrophe, the financial catastrophe that waits her in the future. She's going to make her father's debt look like nothing. Mark my words. Mark my words. I will bet $1 for it. She's going to make her father's debt look like nothing. And part of the reason I loved this interview for educational purposes is you see that this is really just a bunch of steps. It starts with, I'm too tired to get a bottle of water. It moves to, well, I'm just going to eat right here where I work at because that's easier than going somewhere else. And then advances to, well, I'm going to spend a little bit more than where I eat. And then it's I'm going to go eat somewhere else. And it's steps. It is not linear going from, you know, I entered college and all of a sudden I'm broke. It's a whole bunch of steps. And they're steps that are hard to see unless you do something like what Caleb's doing here, and that's breaking down her expenditures. These are so easily dismissed as breakfast, lunch, dinner. I was in school, so I needed those books. But when you break it down and you put it in slow motion, like he's doing in this interview, now we're starting to see, oh, it's taquitos here, 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 here. It's overdrafts here, here, here. It's too many checking accounts here, here, here. It's a bunch of steps. It's layers and layers of faulty thinking, bad financial behaviors, bad advice, such as that from her parents. That's the value. I don't mean to preach. I love this channel, love my preaching, right? But that's what I want people to see, and that's why I'm taking the time to dig through this. Because people oftentimes think it's just something as simple as, well, I just took on a really big student loan, so that's how I got the debt. No. That debt started long ago. It started with a taquito. We're going to wrap it up here pretty soon.
We had to get another car wash.
And it starts with a car wash. And notice how often these repeat. I would darn near bet she has a shopping problem too. but I don't want to get into that. You know, that gets me all worked up and emotional, so I'm not going there. But I would almost, we got a lot of repeat behaviors. We have a lot of, jeez.
Apparently. Spotify. We can listen to ads while we can't afford to live. And an Apple bill. Oh, double Spotify. Good.
What the heck do you need Spotify? Do you see all the wasted money? Do you see all the wasted money? Are you seeing this?
Double Spotify. You know, it lines up. It lines up. They paid you, instead of like 28 days, it was like 27 days.
Okay.
Total overdraft fees this year so far, $112. $102. We're not even making the payments.
Okay. We're going to call it done. I'm tired. I need to go to bed. I do want to get this uploaded. I'm going to put I have not even watched the whole video, but I think we have a really good idea as to how this is spiraling. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to end the video here. I was hoping to do the whole thing, but I'm getting tired. And, well, I think the point has been well made. I thought this was just an absolutely outstanding interview. And I wish that shows like this, interviews like this with real everyday people, I think it should be shown to every single high school student that's a senior. I think it should be shown to every student that's enrolled in a college campus. I think it should just be required, but it's not. So there are those of us out here trying to make it known. And let me go ahead and expand this here really quickly. And like I said, you know, people who sit and go, oh man, you know, this was a really long reaction I did. I guarantee it to you. It's a hell of a lot shorter than reacting to a student loan bill you don't get. And my special thanks to not just this channel, but the lady that was willing to come on and be interviewed. We are not attacking her. I worry greatly about her. I worry about her mental health, her physical health, her psychological health. And I hope that she has someone in her family that can straighten this up before this eats her alive and there's no way for her to get out of it. All right. I'm Carrie. This is Student Loan Chit-Chat. I want to thank you for joining me this evening, and I do hope you will consider subscribing, and I want you to have a great Monday. Good night.